Hey guys, and welcome to a build video. This week we're doing Connie and Caryn's 1 million shell challenge, and I know I'm late, but better late than never. Honestly, Connie and Caryn are what got me back into playing The Sims. I think I found them on Instagram through their reels, where they just show snippets of their builds, and they're just so creative and have such innovation with the items in this game. And it really inspired me, and also they just give such helpful tips about like the different build sheets and whatnot, so highly recommend their content if you're starting out building. So you can see right now I'm going through and kind of making a general layout. When I saw the bump in / bump out of the middle part of the M, I realized that those triangular couches would fit in that nook, and at the time I built this, the Blooming Rooms kit was free, so I really kind of wanted to make sort of an atrium vibe, an atrium living room. You'll see me like mess around with a glass roof later. But that was like my first thought. My second thought, which probably should have been my first thought, is what lot to put this on. I haven't built in the Snowy Escape world for a while, and so I went into Mount Komorebi and I just picked a random lot, and I ended up picking the lot that has the Ito family, which is one of the pre-made families, on that giant lot at the bottom of the mountain. And then I was like, well, what if I just built them a new home? They have the two parents, they have a teenage boy, and they have a child girl. And so I wanted to try and fit them all into this admittedly weirdly shaped house. Definitely a downgrade, but one might argue it's more cozy. But that's kind of what I was using as a deciding factor for how many bedrooms do I need, what kind of bedrooms, that kind of thing. So at this point I have the general layout of the house, and here I'm working on the study. Those bookcases from Crystal Creations fit really well in that nook. And then I wanted a little painting area, and I got out that stack of pre-made paintings from Eco Lifestyle and sized it down to put next to the easel. Next up is the main bathroom. Honestly, after a while, all the bathrooms in The Sims kind of start looking the same. So I started furnishing it, and actually you'll notice I forgot a toilet, but don't worry, I put a toilet before the end of this. Then I wanted to start on the rooms on the other side of the building. Honestly, I got a little confused here. I forgot it was a boy teen and a girl child, and so I started making a room for a girl teen. But I'm leaving it in because I think it looked really pretty, but I do kind of switch around the decor later. Part of me wants to be a bit more out of the box when it comes to creating quote-unquote gendered rooms, and this ends up not being a very good example of that. The girls' room is very pink and the boys' room is very blue. But I just love the really girly pink stuff that we got in high school years. Any excuse that I get to use it, I just really enjoy it. Maybe in a future build I can be a little less cliche, but it's just so pretty. Here I'm working on the parents' room. It took me a while to decide exactly how I wanted it oriented. I really wanted a nightstand on both sides of the bed, but there wasn't quite enough room for me to do that no matter how I oriented the bed. So I settled for a nightstand on one side, a lamp on the other side, and I used that empty space to make another reading nook. I've been doing a lot of those in my builds lately, but they just fill up the space really well. Now we're doing the kids' bath real quick. Very simple 6-tile bathroom. Nothing we haven't seen before. And now I'm switching up the rooms a bit. I wanted the child to get the smaller of the two rooms, so that means that we had to switch to the single bed version of that double bed we had earlier. But because of the kind of weird layout of the room, we actually had room for a desk now. So again, I used the high school years one. And now we're on to the teenagers' room. I like this high school years bed that has blue and teal and yellow. I think that provides a lot of colors which you can then match with other furniture. And so I used the Eco Lifestyle nightstand that kind of has a similar color scheme. And then it took me forever to find that backpack, but I really wanted to put a backpack next to the dresser. Now with the general layout and color scheme figured out, I wanted to go work on the roof. The pinnacle of this whole build for me was that living room atrium I was trying to make, and I really wanted it to have a glass roof. And oh my goodness, that was so difficult to accomplish. I went back and forth. I tried the clear flooring from Island Living. I tried making different roofs made out of glass and sort of moshing them together, and nothing quite looked good. There was always like weird clipping happening. So instead I decided to do somewhat of like a grid pattern, make it look a little intentional and kind of hide some of the clipping, and do more of an 8 shape rather than having the whole oval be glass. And at this point I realized that traditional roofing was just not gonna happen. I've definitely improved on roofs with The Sims, but they still are hard. So I was like, oh, we could do an Adobe style build and have different platforms and different heights. And I've been posting some of my videos out of order, but I literally just did a build like that last week because I want this to come out closer to the time that the shell challenge actually happened. That build hasn't come out yet. It'll come out in a few weeks, I think. But after I went through and did all the patterns, I was like, I don't really want to do an Adobe style house in the middle of Mount Komorebi, but I also don't want to do traditional roofing. So I kind of did this weird mashup of keeping the different platforms and the different heights of roofs, but used a lot of stuff from Snowy Escape to try and make it mesh a little better with the environment. I don't know if it works, but I don't hate it at the end. Similarly, I went through the build on the inside and replaced all of the doors with doors from Snowy Escape, and then it was time for windows. And I'll actually admit, I made a mistake here. here. I wanted to use the windows that had paper in them because you don't have to add curtains. And I didn't realize that I accidentally used the version that didn't have paper until after I had already placed all of them. And there's so many windows in this build. I didn't want to have to go back and redo all of it, so I just left them. I didn't even realize there was a paperless version. I love the Snowy Escape windows specifically because they have paper in them. I like to pretend they're frosted windows sometimes. So that was my bad, but I think it still looks good. And honestly, if you ignore the lack of privacy, I think it actually looks better. Maybe I'm trying to convince myself here, but I went through and added wallpaper to all of the walls. Everywhere got this very traditional looking wallpaper, again from Snowy Escape, except the kids' rooms got kids' room wallpapers and the bathrooms got tile. Then I'm going through the kitchen and dining room and replacing that placeholder furniture with more intentional furniture and going through and adding some rugs to the rest of the house. I love me a good rug. It just really warms up the place and brings everything together. Finally, the piece de resistance, the thing we've all been waiting for, the living room atrium. I kind of just went ham. I used a bunch of plants from the Blooming Rooms kit, and honestly, I can't think of a more fitting way to decorate the Connie and Caryn shell. They use so many indoor plants. It's one of my favorite things about their builds, and it always looks so good and intentional. So this is my homage to that. I still felt this room was a little bit empty though, so I added a giant rug from City Living. I never really used that rug, but it looked really good here. Some final touches, and I'll hand you over to Tour Shasha. Here's it from the outside. You can see the greenery popping through the windows, like just how I wanted it to, which is really great. Okay, I moved the house and I added a mailbox and a little path, as well as snuck a trash can back here. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm gonna press play so they can do whatever they want, and I'll give you a tour. I think these are the siblings, right? They're just messing around outside, but if we go in through the front door, we have this cool little entry hallway, and through here we have our study, some good bookshelves, a desk, and then a little painting nook. And then on the other side, we go into the kitchen, really big kitchen, and I use that pressure cooker from For Rent as a rice cooker. Little dining area here, and then through here is kind of like a living room / greenhouse situation. I just wanted to add a lot of color, and I think it looks really nice. I don't know if I'll mention this in the voiceover, but I built this right after the Blooming Rooms kit went on sale for free. And so this was kind of my ode to it. I just wanted to do a very green and plant type room. And then I really like this rug from City Living. I barely get to use it. Then through here we have a hallway that goes to the bathroom and the two kids' rooms. To the left we have the child's room. The Sims has a lot of really cute pink stuff. I really enjoy the high school year set especially. Then the bathroom's pretty standard. I used this tile from Snowy Escape. A lot of people give it crap, but I think it's really pretty. So I like to use it whenever I have an excuse. And then the teens' room is this. Oh, he wants to go to class. He can go alone. Anyway, like I was saying, this is the teens' room. Kind of small, but a good little color scheme. And oh no, he forgot his backpack. Oh well, it's fine. Then on the other side of the house, we're back in the entryway. And if instead we go through this hallway, we have our bathroom here that serves as our main and guest bathroom. And then at the end here, we have the parents' bedroom. Went with nice warm colors in this room and put a chair in front of the pretty view. And yeah, that's my contribution to the 1 million shell challenge. Life's been really hectic, so this came out kind of late. But congratulations to Caryn and Connie for getting 1 million. You guys have been such an inspiration for me when it comes to building, and I hope everyone that participated had fun. As always, have a lovely day. Bye!